The J-7B fighter bomber, with a maximum payload of 9 tons and equipped with advanced phased array radar. Why did it ultimately fade into obscurity without ever donning its battle attire to soar through the skies? Hailed by many as China's tornado, this fighter bore the high hopes of an entire generation of aviation pioneers. Yet its ascent was abruptly halted just as it was poised to take flight. Behind its fate lies the grand narrative of the PLA Air Force's strategic transformation, the intense choices surrounding equipment technology paths, and the inevitable trade-offs and growing pains experienced by a rising military power. Looking back at the development of the J-7 fighter bomber series, it reads like a microcosm of China's aviation industry striving to catch up. In the 1970s and 1980s, facing severe pressures in territorial air defense and maritime strike capabilities, China urgently needed a combat bomber capable of long-range strikes while retaining self-defense capabilities. Thus, the J-7 fighter bomber program was born. Its mission was clearly defined, like the Soviet Su-24, American F-111, and European Tornado. It focused on precision strikes against ground and sea targets, rather than engaging enemy fighters for air superiority. Initially spearheaded by the Navy, the early J-7 variants concentrated on anti-ship warfare, particularly equipped with JH-83 anti-ship missiles. Due to domestic limitations in aviation engine technology at the time, the J-7F had to incorporate the British SPA engine, a defining mark of its era. After a long and arduous development process, the basic J-7F variant was finalized in 1998 and finally entered mass production for the naval aviation, filling the gap in China's long-range airstrike capabilities. Entering the 21st century, the J-7 emerged in 2005 as a comprehensively upgraded variant with enhanced performance. It became a critical strike platform for both the Air Force and Navy, featuring a maximum takeoff weight of 28.5 tons, 11 hardpoints, and a payload capacity of up to 9 tons, significantly extending its combat radius. During an era when domestically produced heavy fighters, like the Flanker series, were still in limited numbers, the JH-7A frequently deployed to the East China Sea for combat readiness patrols. Its extended range and endurance far surpassed those of earlier light fighters, like the J-7 and J-8. Its flexible armament capabilities, including the YJ-83 anti-ship missile, YJ-91 anti-radiation missile, KD-88 air-to-surface missile, and various precision-guided bombs, made it the backbone of China's air-to-sea and air-to-ground strike capabilities at the time. Even in recent air shows, it demonstrated the ability to carry ground attack cruise missiles, continually unlocking the platform's potential. However, as China's defense strategy accelerated its shift from territorial air defense to a balanced offensive-defensive posture, and as potential adversaries' air defense systems became increasingly sophisticated, the limitations of the J-7F became apparent around 2010. Its primary munitions, such as the YJ-83, struggled to meet the demands of the new threat environment in terms of range and destructive power, while its airframe structure and avionics proved inadequate for carrying larger, heavier next-generation supersonic anti-ship missiles, or more complex standoff munitions. To overcome these bottlenecks and breathe new life into this classic platform, the JH-7B project was initiated. According to various sources, the J-7B represents a transformative overhaul. It not only incorporates domestically produced phased array radars with enhanced detection capabilities and superior multi-mission performance, but also undergoes comprehensive upgrades to its avionics and flight control systems. More significantly, structural reinforcements enable it to effectively carry and deploy heavy supersonic anti-ship missiles like the YJ-12. Suddenly, the J-7B was the focus of high expectations, seemingly poised to give this veteran aircraft a second wind and become a sharper hammer in China's airborne anti-ship system. Yet history often unfolds with dramatic twists. Just as the J-7B fighter bomber program was advancing at full speed, China's air power landscape underwent a seismic shift. Two pivotal factors fundamentally altered the J-7B's destiny. First, the emergence of the J-16, the pride of the skies. As the pinnacle of China's domestically developed heavy multi-role fighters, the J-16 was extensively developed from the Su-30 MKK airframe platform, integrating the nation's most advanced aviation technologies. Boasting an impressive payload capacity exceeding 12 tons and extended range, its advanced active, phased array radar and avionics architecture enable it to simultaneously excel in air superiority, long-range precision strikes against ground, sea targets, and electronic warfare, making it a true multi-role fighter and bomb truck. When the J-16 entered mass production for the Air Force in 2016, it demonstrated overwhelming superiority over the relatively single-purpose J-7B fighter bomber in terms of overall combat effectiveness, mission flexibility, and future upgrade potential. For the Air Force, concentrating resources on equipping and developing the J-16 as a more powerful general-purpose strike force was clearly a more strategically visionary choice. Second, China's naval strategy has undergone profound transformation. With the rapid advancement of aircraft carrier development, the focus of naval aviation has undeniably shifted toward carrier-based aircraft. The J-15 series carrier-based fighters, the next-generation stealth carrier aircraft under development, and specialized carrier-based aircraft now command the vast majority of resources and attention. Concurrently, the defensive duties of the naval land-based aviation have increasingly been transferred to the Air Force, while the naval aviation itself is transitioning toward a role as a long-range, ocean-going offensive force. Within this grand realignment, the Navy's demand for a dedicated new land-based fighter bomber has sharply declined. The potential naval market for the JH-7B has consequently evaporated. Thus, the JH-7B found itself in an unprecedented predicament, facing competition from the J-16 interceptor, which comprehensively outperformed it in all aspects, while also grappling with shrinking demand due to the Navy's strategic realignment. While retaining certain specialized capabilities and individual performance metrics, the J-7B faced severe challenges to its cost-effectiveness and system integration within the broader military's evolution toward networked, information-based, and multi-role capabilities. As a deeply modified variant of an outdated platform with relatively narrow mission attributes, its value proposition and systemic positioning were severely compromised. Ultimately, this ill-timed project concluded quietly after completing technical validation and knowledge accumulation, never progressing to formal certification or mass production. Many of its advanced technologies, such as certain avionics achievements and weapon integration experience, were likely repurposed for the mid-life upgrade of the operational J-7A fighter bomber, or other aircraft models, representing an unconventional form of legacy. The quiet departure of the J-7B fighter bomber is not merely a tale of equipment failure, but an inevitable choice in the leapfrog development of a powerful air force. It signifies China's air power has fully departed from an era reliant on single-function platforms to fill gaps, entering a new epoch where core strike capabilities are built upon heavy, multi-role, highly informatized platforms. The vast fleet of J-16 fighters now forms the backbone of the Air Force's offensive operations, while fifth-generation fighters like the J-20 and J-35 have taken up the mantle of air superiority. The role of the J-7 fighter bomber series in active service is gradually evolving. It now primarily undertakes secondary missions such as auxiliary strikes, tactical reconnaissance, and electronic countermeasures, or leverages its remaining strengths in payload capacity and range in specific operational contexts. The J-7B fighter bomber stands as an unfulfilled chapter in this saga. Its unfinished legacy bears witness to the arduous journey of China's aviation industry, from following global trends to keeping pace, and ultimately striving for leadership in certain domains. The technological insights and strategic considerations it left behind have now been integrated into the PLOF's grand march toward becoming a strategic air force.